Hi folks, in today's video I'm going to be covering how I am no longer reliant on public charging because I've got a home charger installed. Hi folks, G3 here. Previously I had been reliant on public charging. I didn't have availability to get a charger fitted at home or to run a cable so that I could charge nearby because we had to park a little away from the house over the road and it just wasn't suitable. So I had to rely on public charging for approximately 2.5 years. I put a video up previously where I talked about my time without being able to charge at home. It was a very popular video, still is, and lots of comments on it, and people also asked me to put an update on what I was doing now. So that is what this video is going to be about. Now, in the time that I was using purely public chargers, I've put some stats down here. In that time I covered approximately 25,000 miles and it was over 2.5 years, and it costs me 45 pence on average per kilowatt hour to put in. Although over the last year of doing that, so this was from 2023 through till March 2024, it costs me 59 pence per kilowatt hour. So it had gone up approximately 14 pence on average because the electricity costs were going up. It was becoming more and more expensive to charge. And during that time, I worked out it cost me 21 pence per mile to travel. And during that last year, we were then looking at moving house to one of the main drivers of that was to have space for us to be able to park by the house and to fit a charge point in to help reduce the costs of charging, make it more convenient. So that was one of the drivers, and we did manage to move, and that was in March 2024. So we have been at this house just over a year. So let me take you through what has been installed. Now this is our Simpson and Partners charger. Now there's a lot of information to give you, so I've got my laptop here so don't forget any of it. It's a Simpson and Partners Home 7 kilowatt plus. Now it's untethered, which means it doesn't have a cable connected to it. So that was a slightly cheaper option because you don't have the cable. We're relying on the cables that we've got in the car to connect up through. I thought that would be more useful. It has a wired energy manager, which is a separate cable going from here into the EV consumer unit, and that helps understand the load that's being used by the house so that this doesn't take too much if the house is under load at the time. It will pull this down so that it's not using as much draw of electricity. It's in a Cotswold green colour, and this is a nice solid box here, and then it's got this mid-oak lid, the wooden lid on top there. The charger was fitted for us in approximately half a day. It was done by EV Connect, Ryan at EV Connect, and they are based in Folkestone in Kent. They did a very good job, very happy. Overall it cost us 1,368. Now this was in April 2024, so approximately a year ago. 1,368. Now that is because I went for quite a sort of higher priced unit. I liked the look of this one. I thought it would be a good one to sort of complement the house. I liked the fact that it had a light that came on to help you see what was going on around here, and it was quite an intelligent unit that was one that could be utilised for the Octopus Intelligent Go tariff, which is where you allow Octopus to be able to control the charging of the car so that it can pick up times when it's going to be best to charge, the cheapest and the most also the least carbon intense electricity that's available. So Octopus would be able to communicate with this and do the charging. So that's why I went for this charger. So that's why it's probably a bit dearer than you could potentially get a charge point fitted for. You can get it much cheaper than that. That was done by EV Connect. So they were very good. They made it quite seamless with the cabling being tucked quite nicely together and out the way, and the unit has been performing extremely well. We have managed to get this on the Octopus Intelligent Go tariff that is now in place, so we get cheaper electricity between 11:30 at night and 5:30 in the morning, and that is at 7 pence. The regular price that we're paying I think is 27 pence. So for those 6 hours, we get the electricity at 7 pence. So that is really good. And what that means is that now, because my Model S can get on average 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour, so that means that we're doing approximately 3 pence per mile now when we're charging on that, whereas before our average was 21 pence per mile when we were doing the public charging. So a lot cheaper through doing that, which obviously in turn is going to eventually pay for this unit. And I mean, potentially it's probably already paid for itself. I haven't done the maths on that, but it probably has already done that. We also have the convenience of being able to get it set up so that it's at the right battery percentage before we go each day. Going out, we know that that's not going to be an issue. Unfortunately, I don't have to spend time charging the car and having the hassle of including that in my journey times and any sort of issues around charge point availability where they weren't working. Now I did make it work for those 2.5 years, and whilst it was a change in approach needing to do that, so I had to allow time to do it, I did make use of that time. So it was often if we were doing something else in the area, or I would take work to do in the car whilst it was charging. There were workarounds to make it workable. But obviously it's not quite the same as having a decent charger installed at the house and able to utilise. And recently we have become a 2 electric car family because Mrs. G3 has changed her, it was a diesel VW that had finally run its course. There had been quite a few things that she'd needed doing on it, and had decided that now was the time to make the change. And so she's chosen to get it's a high-end Icona. I think it's 3-4 years old, a really nice car, and so we're able to charge both of those from this charge point, and obviously take advantage of that extremely cost-effective charge at 7 pence per kilowatt hour overnight. So I think the next thing for me to do is just show you how easy this is to operate, so I'm going to do that now. It's very straightforward to do, just a case of plugging in the charge cable into the car and then the other end going into the charge point here. There's a flap that comes down and it's got a light, a ring light around the charge put in, which is a nice floodlight at night to be able to see it, really helpful to get that in. And then simply clicks in. There is a light here that will be blue once it's first in and communicating, and then green once it's started charging, just the same as on the car. You get the green light to show that it's charging, and then that's going through, and it can pull up to the 7 kilowatts when needed of power. Now that I'm on the Octopus Intelligent Go, Octopus will be communicating with the charger in the car and managing when it is going to do that charge. I can bypass it through the Octopus app and do a bump charge, so it will tell it that I actually would prefer to get to a certain charge sooner, and I'll be paying more the 27 pence rate as it is at the moment. So it is possible to bypass that, but I will now let Octopus do the management of the charging to get it up to the 80% charge that I will be needing for the car for the next time that I use it. It's a really straightforward thing to do. Now, one of the comments that somebody had left on the previous video about the charging via the public charging, and they'd commented about the fact that I was using a lot of fast chargers and that might be causing problems with the degradation of the battery. I've not had any notice of issues with regards to the battery. It's not something, the information isn't readily available. You can only get that from Tesla themselves, the degradation. They haven't shared that, but I haven't noticed any issue with the capacity of the battery beyond what it already was. So obviously it doesn't have the full capacity. This car is now, it's in its 10th year, so it's a reasonable amount of time that the battery has been used, but I still get a really good range on it. I tend to charge up to 80%, and I will anticipate that with that I can do up to maybe 150, 160 miles because it is quite energy consuming in that it's a big car, and I will get sort of 2 to 2.5 miles per kilowatt hour depending on the time of year and the draw. But the battery quality is, from what I can tell, pretty good considering the age of the car, and I don't have any concerns there whatsoever. But there you go, folks. This is my Simpson and Partners wall charger that got fitted. Extremely happy with it. Really good unit. Looks nice, I believe. It's got some good features with there, especially through the app itself when you're using that. Able to lock the cable in place, unlock it, and the like, and get loads of stats on charging and what's been put in and that sort of thing. So a really good piece of kit, and I can thoroughly recommend it. But it's been a change of outlook for us now that we've been able to charge at home following the house move a year ago to get this facility. We're really fortunate to have been able to get space for a couple of cars to park and to be able to utilise the charge point, and it's really been worthwhile. So I thought I'd share that with you. Well, there you go, folks. Hope you enjoyed the video and found it useful. If you did, then please click the like button down below. Leave your comments. Let me know whether you've got one of these Simpson and Partners chargers, what you think of it, or whether you're thinking of getting one fitted, or how you are coping with not being able to charge at home. Really like to hear your thoughts. Up next, I've got this video that I think you might find useful, and if you haven't done so already, then why not subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon so you get notified when I load up a new video. Well, thanks for watching, folks. Until next time, bye!